Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. A sustainable urban development should have three basic principles. It should be sustainable, it should be resilient, and it should be inclusive. When we say a city is resilient, it means it has the capacity to bounce back and recover in case of a disaster in a shortest possible time. But that's not enough. This, to be sustainable, the city also needs to be inclusive, which means all segments of society in the city should have access to resources, be they the elite or the middle income or the poor or the ultra poor. That's what inclusiveness is. Well, this inclusiveness or inclusive cities means that the resources should be accessible, diverse, and equitable. Accessible in terms of public transportation, affordable housing, health, and education, and then diverse. It should cater for the needs of all diverse segments of society. It should also be the inclusive urban settlement should also be equitable because it should provide for social justice and fairness to all citizens of that city. The overall goal of urban inclusiveness is to prevent or reduce social inequality and promote sense of belonging and well-being to all urban residents. Let's now have a look at the advantages of urban inclusiveness. It leads to social cohesion, which means a sense of belonging, reduces social divisions and stronger community ties. Then economic growth, because equitable growth to education, employment, and entrepreneurial opportunities boosts the overall urban prosperity, enhanced quality of life, it improves the overall quality of life for everyone, regardless of socioeconomic, racial, or cultural backgrounds. And it reduces social inequality because proportional distribution of resources, services, and benefits helps in the narrowing of the gap between the rich and the. There are also some challenges of urban inclusiveness. For example, high costs. Now, the municipalities have financial constraints in implementing measures such as affordable housing initiatives, accessible infrastructure, and social services. Then there's always resistance to change. Inclusive measures may be perceived as threat to certain interests or cultural norms of some groups. Then gentrification. Now, if an area is improved, uh, it leads to increased property values and tempting lower income residents to sell off their properties to meet more urgent needs, leading to their displacement. And then lack of support and infrastructure. Inclusiveness may require more investment in infrastructure, which may not be available to all areas. Now, how urban inclusiveness can be achieved? It needs participatory planning, local communities to be engaged, accessible infrastructure and services to all, affordable housing, then inclusive urban design, streets and buildings, etc., and parks should be accessible to people uh, of all categories, including with disabilities and senior citizens, then capacity buildings, empower residents through education and cultural preservation because in a city, people of diverse cultures, diverse ethnic and racial groups live, and so their cultural diversity needs to be recognized. Then collaboration and partnership, which means there's a need to foster collaboration among various stakeholders. Then data-driven decision making, use data and technology to understand the urban challenges, and policy and legal frameworks promote inclusiveness and prohibit discrimination based on race, gender, disability, or for an action plan to achieve inclusiveness, there are 8 basic steps. Firstly, to assess the current inclusivity, inclusivity in the city, involve diverse stakeholders in planning, then develop an inclusive urban plan and improve physical accessibility, promote affordable housing, enhance public transportation accessibility, and increase jobs for marginalized communities, promote awareness and education about inclusivity. Thank you very much. That's it for now, and talk to you next time. Allah Hafiz.